Welcome to Book Weekly, your weekly recap about all things book and stuff. Means, announcements, price action, all the info in one video. This week, Josh gave an interview to Farid from Jab Central to present book. It's a great video for first-timers, people who want to learn about the project in general. So I recommend you share it if you try to onboard some new people. What is interesting to me in particular is the fact that Josh mentioned that they are also working on Stuff. Stuff.io, the second web property of the book company, to sell music and videos. And what was perfect was that we learned that it should be rolled out this year. So it looks like they're swinging at full speed at this, and we may get some more DAs to play with. As a reminder, there is a Twitter/X account of Stuff.io. So you see Nacho here said that he can already enjoy the first DAs. We know that the mobile app is being rebuilt to accommodate those Stuff DAs, so music and videos. And there was also an interesting post by Stuff.io about podcasts and how it is a $23.5 billion industry. That's huge. But some people were making good points, like, do I really need to own a podcast? Isn't it more like I listen to it once and then I'm done? So it will be interesting to see if the demand is the same as for books. I think it could be when you think about specific interviews. I'll just take the last one that pops through my head, which is the one that Tucker Carlson gave with Putin. I don't know if that will ever be taken down, but I can imagine that these kind of things are kind of historic and could become some kind of collectible. So I can see it in specific instances. Now, the other thing that is interesting about Stuff is the question whether there will be a Stuff token. And as far as I remember, the answer is yes. It was mentioned 1 year ago or even more, either in an OG AMA or in some space, that there will be a Stuff token. Of course, let's wait for the official announcements, but I'm fairly confident it's gonna happen. And this is important because the question is, how will it relate to the book token? I expect with the recent Cardano drama about, having different tokens under the same company, that some people may be unhappy with that decision to produce one more token. However, I think it makes perfect sense. Book was really designed for the book ecosystem. It's a circular economy. It all makes sense. Half of it will be distributed through the read-to-earn system, which is slated to last 50 years. So I cannot see how suddenly they're gonna add one more use case to the token, and when all the distribution, all the previous use cases are linked to book specifically. Also, the Stuff token might not have a similar system, like we have read to earn for book. Will we have watch to earn? Listen to earn? I'm not so sure. Does it make sense? Not convinced. However, I find it super interesting because it's some kind of model like Patreon, in a sense that you produce content and people, instead of buying some subscription or something like this, maybe they can buy your content with the Stuff token. Maybe something like that. That I can see. It's a good way to can speculate/support content creators. So maybe that would work. Would content creators need to pay in Stuff to get their content uploaded there? Maybe. So yeah, still a lot of unknowns. I'm fairly confident the token will be there, and I'm fairly positive as well that the book company will take care of its own. They always did it. So I don't know if it will be an airdrop for people who hold the book token, people who hold the Bible. Maybe there will be a first Stuff DEA, and people who hold that will get some benefits. Time will tell, and I feel like it's not gonna be so much time. Remember that with the BookCon in 2 months, a bit less, well, they're gonna have some guest speakers from the music industry. So who knows if we would get the first DEA there, and then this DEA would unlock things on stuff. Kind of the stuff cute. Let's see. On the tech side, steady progress is being made. There was this post from Guillermo about writing code before 4 a.m. That doesn't sound healthy. But he mentions here credit card, I know. So buying DAs with a credit card. So the Cardano ones, because we already have it for ETH and Polygon, but it was not available for Cardano, where most of the mints are. So I think it will be an important step, especially one of the building blocks towards mass adoption. Next should be hopefully the self-directed wallets, meaning that you log in Web2 style, Facebook, Gmail, just an email address, and book custodies your wallet. And then users buy with credit card, put your books in there, access them with the app. I think that will be the second very important piece until we start growing with more traditional consumers. In the weekly email, there were also other updates. They quickly talk about progress on the mobile app. That will be both for book and stuff. Then quick word about the book token bridge. And here it's really cool because we just learned that they have a date. It's a secret date, an internal scheduled date, but date nonetheless. It means that everything is scoped out and we are getting there. And I wonder how the token price will react. And then the other piece that was of interest was the new editioning protocol. Maybe you remember there was an issue with a smart contract on ETH that basically it had a vulnerability. So a big portion of books which were published on ETH and Polygon were kind of banned from OpenSea. So you cannot trade them over there anymore. And what Book did was to seize the opportunity to work on their editioning protocol. Think of it as traditional books that you buy a book and then there's a new edition coming up. Like Cardano for the masses is a great example for that. Every time there's a new Cardano era, new functionalities, there is a new edition of the book which is more complete. So how do you transcribe that in the world of book.io? With a swap. So you have your original book and you can elect, up to you, to swap it for a new edition, a new version which is more up to date. And this is the typical use case for textbooks in the US. It's something that Mark Cuban often uses as an example as well, because his kids go exactly through that every year they need to buy new expensive books because, well, the physical book they have, they're not obviously updated automatically. So it's good that progress is being made on that front as well. This week was really special when it comes to mints. They did something that they've never done before, which is to cram a whole series within a week. It is the Banned Book a Day series. One book every day from Monday to Friday. If you get them all, snapshot and then airdrop the following day. What was also very specific is that the public price was always the same, but the discount price would be progressively lower. I think in the end you could get the whole series for around 300 ADA. So we can see them here on this page. It started with the history of Tom Jones, then the narrative of the life of Frederick Douglass, Leaves of Grass, The Awakening, and Ulysses. Maybe we can have a look at how it behaved on the secondary market. Banned Book a Day, here it is. So Candide, you need it from the airdrop from the Banned Book series. Hopefully people could rent it. And then where we go there, you see the price 249, public price always, and then the OG price scaling down every time. Like the last one was only 19 ADA. It's very low for a collectible. And when we look at the floor price, the first one didn't do so great. Second one did great because trust fund swept the floor. And then the other ones, they're holding between 60, 80, 90 ADA, which is definitely above this OG price. So it looks like it is working for the secondary market. When we look at the owners, we see it's pretty, it's in the bracket between 200 and 160 more or less, and with Candide having the most, and then it slowly goes down. So to me, the fact that it's more or less a constant number makes me think that people are really going for it. And when you think that there are 314 books and let's say half of those are owners, then it means that everyone is buying 2 books and buying everything in the series. I'm curious if this experiment will be repeated. From my perspective, it seems successful, with the caveat that probably those 202 owners of Candide are the ones minting the rest. So we're basically minting just for a specific group of people. I'm not sure how inclusive that is. Also, on another note, we got another entry in the Monday Meditations 2 series, The Consolation of Philosophy. I've heard about that book. If memory serves, it's someone who was condemned to death, and while in his cell, he wrote this book. So kind of a crazy situation to be in, and how philosophy helped this man be peaceful in his last moments. So that sounds pretty unique. And now, how does it look from the series perspective? So we see the trend being confirmed that the mint price is decreasing with every installment. So from 299 to 199, and on the OG price as well, we see a reduction. In terms of owners, we see something similar to the Banned Book a Day series, a bit less than 200 and quite steady throughout the series. And I remember in the OG Book Club, this number was thrown around, that there are actually only 200 active collectors, minters. So is it really the case? Do we really have just 200 people minting everything? Curious to see about that. Maybe you should look into the next public release or a book with a bigger number of issues to see if that is indeed the case, or if there are more people than that minting, because here we have very low numbers. I mean, if you have only 250 books, you cannot have 500 holders. That's logical. Just a quick word about the Snappy and the Droppy for the Banned Book a Day. So Snapshot will be on Monday 26th, and the airdrop will be the next day, with Uncle Tom's Cabin being the airdropped book. Then a bit of miscellaneous news. Remember about the BookCon, less than 2 months now. OG discount codes still available in the Discord, so you can get in for a cheaper price. And there was also an announcement not so long ago about the merch for the BookCon. Remember, if you go there physically, if you have this general admission ticket, you get a discount on merch. If you have the VIP ticket, you get free merch. It's a bit of a cryptic message though, that some merch has a lot of fabric, some just a little, and some have no question mark. Not sure what is gonna be. Some people are joking it's gonna be lingerie. Not sure I want to bring that to the bedroom, but hey, not judging. Also a reminder about the stake pool, which is going strong. You still have until the end of the month to delegate and get your 20% bonus. Last week, I think in my last video, the delegated ADA was on 14 millions. Now it's 22, so 50% increase. It's very popular. It's going very well, and more importantly, we minted our first blocks. And minting blocks means having rewards distributed. So it's fully operational now, it's official. We are contributing to the Cardano network, keeping it secure and decentralized, and earning book tokens in the process. So that's really cool to see this coming to fruition. And finally, I want to just give a little shout out to the OG Book Club. Maybe you know that they are having philanthropy efforts and organizing charity raffles to help different organizations. Every quarter, more or less, they organize a raffle where you can buy tickets and you may win books as in DEAs. And those books are donated by people from the OG Book Club, and there are often some Bibles, some unique books, like one-on-ones. So it's a great opportunity to give and maybe receive. If you go to their website, ogbook.club, you can then be redirected to a Medium page where you will see all the charity raffles they did. I know there's another one in preparation, and we will be donating to one of our members, Kirill Formula, who is a Ukrainian refugee, and he has this initiative going on of providing classes to Ukrainian children who also had to flee the war. So it's great to see that we can all come together as just raffle tickets buyers, but also as people who take action to do something good in this world. Probably details will be revealed in the following weeks, but I'm looking forward to that one. I live in Poland. I know many Ukrainians and what is happening there. And without taking sides, war is always horrible. So anything we can do, we can always gamble a few ADA, maybe get some books, maybe not, but at least we can have a direct impact, and more importantly, someone we know, someone who can then come back to us and showing us the results of his efforts, so we know that we are not just giving away ADA to some corrupt organization or what, someone like one of our own. So when that comes out, I'm counting on you. Also, it may be a good thing to have a lot of tickets, including past raffle. This week we also had the monthly book token airdrop for Gutenberg Bible holders, and let's see how that affected the price of both the Gutenberg Bible and the token. Here I'm on JPEG, and we can see on the 7-day period the floor went back down to 1.5 thousand ADA. So I remember we're close to almost 2,000 at some point, so it's quite a visible drop, not unexpected, and still quite a strong floor. If we move that to the 30-day charts, we see that compared to last month, we're actually up 20%. So if we look at the floor history, last time after the drop, we were around 1200s. We had a big peak here, almost to 2000, and then we go back down to kind of the prior support line at 1.5. So every time, like we go high, we drop, but we don't drop back to where we were before. And this is optimistic for the future of the Bible. If we look at the listings, we see also something similar, that the kind of the other way around, that before a snapshot we always go down. So here the minimum was 62 listings, then it went up again but quickly it's being eaten. And the difference between the snapshot and today, 4 days later, is just 9 Bibles. We are still far away from, last time we were at 93. So people are holding those. Now, when we look at the token, so on the 7th day, we are at minus 10. You can ignore that these are support and resistance that I noted myself. We're on the USD chart here, so it's also impacted by the ADA USD conversion rate. So we see we went back down to around 3 cents after the drop. It was quite significant. The drop was on 20th, and then the day after that, boom. But again, it's correlated with the ADA USD price movement. What is really interesting, though, is if we look at the number of holders. In my last video, we're around 6,000. Now we are 6.3 thousand. So it means around 300 more people got in. And this is the power of this monthly snapshot. It's a great mechanic that people, they buy the Gutenberg Bible, which is a very strong asset. So they buy that, so we have more Gutenberg Bible holders, and then they become book holders. And not only that, but they're not paper handing, or at least not in the 4 days following the drop. And this is really important because it means that those people, they bought their Bible at quite a high price, so it's less likely they sell it for less. So they're kind of holding a certain level. And I think it's what's happening with book as well, that we see this thing that it goes up, then it goes down to a new support area, which is either the prior one or something higher than the prior one. So I feel like every time we are getting more holders on those two assets, holders that got in at a higher price, so they are waiting for their upside. Meanwhile, you have all the people who were there before, who are diamond handing because they get all those discounts on books. There are still around 20 book token airdrops to get. And remember, it's only 10,000 NFTs. I know it sounds like a lot in this market, but when you will have at least 1 million readers, and if the Bible does something like discounts for public domain books, the ones that book itself can publish, not the ones from publishers. So there'll be way more eyes on them. For me, this, because of the sheer amount of intrinsic value it has, I don't see it going down anymore. Maybe 1.2 or 1k ADA depending on the macroeconomics, but generally speaking, a strong asset that people will keep for the drops. So I feel like it's NFA, but a smart choice of investment, and I'm really happy to see those charts that are holding strong. Okay, here we broke down for the prior support, but we are coming back to this one. 3 cents seems quite good. And if you look at the sales, look at all this green. Wow, here a big drop, $20k, 19k. But yeah, it looks like the day following the drop, a lot of selling. But generally speaking, looks like we are going back up, that there's an area of interest here, that people are watching this. And I know not everyone looks at the charts in USD, but for me, writing, in drawing, the support and resistance areas in USD has worked. So you can see here there's definitely an area of interest, and when we hear, people buy. And then it goes back up. So let's hope it holds. I don't have doubts. We're getting closer to to the BookCon, 2 more announcements. We just need something like one-to-one stuff token airdrop for book holders, and this goes to the moon. Not saying it's gonna happen, but that's the thing. We're just one announcement away, and this team is delivering every week. Every week they are working so hard all the time. It's really just a matter of time. Just sit down, relax, and one day you'll get this Discord notification that something crazy is happening, and the whole market will react, and you'll be like, well, I already have my bags packed, I'm good. And you just enjoy the ride. And that's it for this week's video. It was quiet but steady progress on many fronts. Looking forward to see what's in store for next week. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave comments and suggestions. Always happy to talk. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next week. Until next time. Maine.